And this is enough to make two 9 by 1.5 inch cake pans, to fill two 9 by 1.5 inch cake pans. I have my pan prepared here with a very special strip called a Maggi cake strip. And certainly you don't need to use it to bake a good cake, but I love it when my cakes rise so that they're perfectly flat. They're much easier to frost. I don't have to level it off, and I don't have a humped cake. So what I do is I take this strip, and here's a second one just to show you. I run it onto running water, and then get out as much water, excess water, as possible. Then I wrap it around the sides of the pan. And what this does is it keeps the sides cooler. So the batter, which starts to set near the outside of the pan because it gets the heat of the outside and starts rising first, is slowed down. And that prevents the center of the batter that doesn't get the heat as fast from continuing to rise above it and turning out a sort of domed cake. So it's just a slightly bit more effort to do, but I think it's worth it in the end. I also put in parchment round. You can certainly cut your own out of wax paper as well, in either grease and flour, or I use non-stick vegetable and flour spray. Not just the vegetable one, you must have the flour in it too. Okay, well, I'm going to use half the batter, and I always stir a little bit because sometimes the beater doesn't reach down to the bottom of the bowl. So by eye, it's fine to do. About half the batter, and this is going to fill the pan 1/2 full. I'm sure you've heard never fill a cake pan more than 2/3 full. But with this particular recipe, 1/2 will rise to the top of the pan and be just the right amount. In fact, it may even rise a little bit above the top, but don't worry, it'll be like a souffle. It won't run over the sides. It will sink down on cooling and be exactly level. I like to use these little offset or angled spatulas to spread batter and for icing. They're very handy and very quick. And see, this is almost the consistency of a frosting, which means it's going to be a light cake, but it's also going to be a moist, buttery cake. Okay, now this is going to go into the second layer. It's going to go into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until a cake tester, when inserted in the center, comes out clean, and if it's pressed lightly on the top, it will spring back. But I don't want to see the sides coming away from the sides of the pan until after I take it out of the oven. If you have that happen, it means the cake is going to be slightly dry and you've overbaked it.